Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the next installment of Manny Talks Shooting, the shooting podcast where I talk to people on the internet because I can and you enjoy it. I mean, at least I think you do by looking at my viewership. So anyway, welcome to the next episode of Manny Talks Shooting, guys. We got to plug the title sponsor, the best sponsor, the guy who goes fast and doesn't suck because his name is Bill Duda. Go fast, don't suck, guys. So go over to gofastdon'tsuck.net. You need to go get yourself a match banner if you're running a match. If you need banners for a match, go hit up Bill. He can probably beat any price anyone's doing because he's awesome. T-shirts, dry fire decals, memes to make yourself feel good or bad about yourself. I don't know. Depends on how you're feeling, what kinks you got going on. I don't know. I don't know you. So just go and enjoy it. Go check out Bill. But without further ado, let's get to today's guest. Today's guest is Mr. John Royer of Outdoor Dynamics. John, how are you doing today?
Great, Manny. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's been a long one. We're trying to do this for a while, I think. I just don't think things have meshed up yet. But it's okay.
Yeah, it's all good now.
It's all Rob's fault. Anyway, it's all Rob Epifania's fault.
You guys say Epiphania.
Epiphania.
Yeah.
It's mine now, sucker. Yeah, that was the funniest thing ever. And he did it like all weekend. What was that? What, 2021?
Yeah. Everywhere. So he stayed at my house for the match, and everywhere I looked, like he was leaving something. It was earbuds. It was targets. I'm like, did you take anything home with you? He did take his dirty underwear home with you, so that was nice.
Well, I mean, that or Charlie was going to find him, right?
It's true.
I mean,
he is a retriever. Charlie is a retriever.
Yeah. I mean, he'd fit in at Rob's house, so it's okay.
Yep.
But it's okay, Rob. You know we love you, but we have to do this. It's just part of it. Rob Epiphania.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Exactly. But for anyone who doesn't know who John is, John, who are you and how did you get into shooting?
I am the guy behind Outdoor Dynamics. We're an ammunition company here in Kannapolis, North Carolina. So I grew up in Western Kansas, grew up hunting goose, duck, pheasant, all that stuff. So I've kind of always been around guns, but there wasn't any competition out there. So when I moved to North Carolina, just being a member at Rowan up the street, just kind of, I don't even know how I found out about it, but just kind of fell into it that way, and everything's progressed ever since.
Yeah. So do they have real barbecue in North Carolina since you are from Kansas?
It's pig barbecue. I'm more of a beef barbecue kind of guy, like Kansas City, obviously Kansas City, but yeah, it's close barbecue.
It's acceptable then?
It's acceptable. It is edible.
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
yep.
One of my good friends, Walt Pagel, he's our section coordinator. He was from Kansas, so it doesn't matter if it's not Kansas barbecue, it's not barbecue. He's like, you can't call it barbecue.
Yeah. There's Kansas barbecue, there's Texas barbecue. I even like Texas barbecue better than Kansas, but that's potato.
Right. Don't let your relatives hear that. They'll probably be rolling over in their grave, right?
They probably won't be listening to this anyway.
Well, that's okay. Just don't tell it to their face, I guess, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So, so you run Outdoor Dynamics. I think the first time I ever heard about you was on Steve Anderson's show, that shooting show, because you pull the handle so we don't have to.
Right.
And I'm assuming that has been a very big part of help of your business getting started, right?
He did. He took me to levels I probably wouldn't have reached without him, in a short amount of time too. So yeah, he's been very helpful to me, the company. So
when did you start Outdoor Dynamics?
It was actually in November of 2018.
So you haven't been doing that a lot. Yep. Super long.
Yeah.
Couple years.
Yeah. 4 years. So yep.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. What really made you want to start, being an ammunition manufacturer?
So the guy that I would travel, my match buddy that I would travel the matches with, he was having all sorts of issues getting the right order, right? Like he would order whatever 40 and he was getting 9s or 45. And I was learning from myself at the time on like I think it was a Dillon 650 at that time. And I got to thinking during that trip is like how hard could it be to get the right order, right? I mean, it's got to come through your phone, it's got to come through something that tells you what this person ordered. And the more I dug into it, I was like, maybe this is something that I can do for myself, like side hustle to kind of pay for my own habits, shooting habits, that is.
Yeah.
So it just kind of grew from there. And yeah, it just started from an idea of customer service, really.
Mm-hmm. So did you start loading for people on your own Dillon 650?
I did. I did. And it was rough.
All by cranking the handle, right?
Yep.
Ooh.
Down, you got seat it and then all the way up. It's that double. It was brutal. Yeah, it wasn't long. I think it was only maybe a week or two before I got a 1050 with an auto drive. This saved me.
Now, was that a headache in the beginning to do the auto drive?
No, no, not really, because if I didn't have the experience on a progressive, I would say it probably would have been, but it was a welcome change.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I couldn't imagine doing that for, even just doing that at whatever volume we were doing at, all cranking it on the handle.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, it was probably only, I don't know, 1,000 rounds a week or something. It's just something silly just to figure it out. And then, yeah, the volume we're doing now, you couldn't do it. So,
yeah, exactly. It'd be just too difficult.
Yep.
So I know we'll go back to outdoor dynamics, but I want to talk to you more about as a shooter right now. Have you taken any formal training?
I have. I started with Ben Berry. He was a local guy. Man, I hope I get all these right. So I took a class with Ben Berry.
Like Ben Berry, like short course Ben Berry?
Yes, that Ben Berry.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't, he was doing classes in Raleigh, and I think he was trying to get it going, and maybe, I wouldn't say it didn't take off, but he probably just didn't push it as much as he wanted to at the time or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I started out with him, Steve Anderson, Rob Epifania, another local guy, Gary Byerly, him as well. He's a local GM. So I think it's just us four.
Yeah, and you were a production shooter to start, or did you do limited then go to production?
Limited to production.
Yeah. Now,
Yep.
now, you're what? Your highest classification is what? Production?
Yes, actually, production and PCC, I'm right there. I think probably close to the same percent.
Yeah,
a master in both. Yep.
Yeah, Chater. No, just kidding. At least you did it with a handgun too. So I mean, I'll give you some credit.
So I made master in PCC first, and that was kind of in the early phases of outdoor dynamics because I was so busy loading stuff I didn't have time to practice, and it was easier to shoot a match in PCC than it would have been probably for anything else because I didn't put a whole lot of time into dry fire and practice and all that stuff. So it was easier for me to pick up a rifle and just go rather than fumble reloads and think about stage plans and stuff like that.
Right. And I'm assuming it was a Glock pattern PCC.
Yes. Yeah. It was a Frankenstein build of like New Frontier Armory and all kinds of crap that I found on Black Friday sales and just put it together. But it ran.
That's all you can ask for, right?
That's all I could ask for.
Because you see people even with nice guns, they have issues. It's either the ammo's not right, the barrel's not right, or the whole gun's not right.
And that sucks. There's no worse feeling than having gun issues or ammo issues or whatever issues.
Right, exactly. So you're shooting PCC production. You have a fancy new limited gun now, don't you?
I do, and I'm excited to run it. So I just had my knee scoped a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of put me down for a little bit. So I'm hoping I can shoot it next month at our club match.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And that's what the MPA DS the DS40 Travis Tomasi.
Yes.
It's a long name.
It is a long name.
Yeah, but you got a fancy limited gun. What'd you shoot in limited before?
CZ Tac Sport.
Oh, okay. You've always been like a CZ guy, kind of, right?
I have, and not really any particular reason either. That's just kind of how it came to be.
maybe it was when you came into the sport, because I guess the CZs, like the Shadow ones, were probably popular back then. So,
Could be. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
There's no real good story behind it. But yeah, there's a big difference between a 2011 and that tack sport. It, the 2011, it just fits the hand better. I feel like the recoil is better.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
Yeah, I'll be excited to see you run that, because you finally got a nitro fin for it, didn't you?
I did. I got it. Got the nitro fin, got the gun, got the holster. So I actually went and practiced with it today. So I got a lot to learn on grip, because that grip is aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the tack sport. I had skateboard tape on there, so there's a big difference between skateboard tape and what they're putting out on grip.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, that's for sure. Now, are you running a race holster, or you run like a Kydex holster?
I have a uh, CR Speed. I got CR Speed.
Yeah, about to say Anderson would beat you up if you didn't have a CR speed.
Yeah, he would.
He's like, "Why do you want something so hitchy and bindy?"
It's stitchy and bindy and get a wedgie and all that stuff he talks about.
Yeah. God, that's. I mean, I honestly, I think if not even thinking or looking, I could probably run through Anderson's intro without even trying half the time, just because it's so
Yep.
ingrained.
Yep. That's the finest intro.
Yeah. Yeah, and God, does he remembers it. It's like written on his hand or something. But God, that's
Yep.
fun.
I mean, he's probably had the same intro for how many years now?
God, too many, too many. I mean, it is nice. There is dog noise, because we can't go an episode without dog noise.
Yep. And he found the pause button, PAWS. So, you
Yeah,
know, when he when the dog noise comes up, you can hit that pause button now.
yeah. Instead of making us suffer through it. Yeah, but that's always cool. Now, so you've been shooting, and you're a master in production and PCC, which is awesome. And it's uh, when did shooting for you kind of like go to the back? More of the business aspect came to the forefront, and the shooting kind of hit the back burner.
Man, that's a good question. So that's a good question, Manny. So with my daytime job, I traveled every weekend from Valentine's to Thanksgiving. So I really couldn't take the sport serious until about 2 years ago when I
Mm-hmm.
stopped traveling. And even then, like it's still never been in the forefront, because I haven't put enough time to dry fire and all that stuff. So it's really always kind of been in the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not really a good answer, but just just between the company and what my full time job, it's just kind of always been back there.
Yeah.
I like to take it seriously. I just haven't put in the time to make
Mm-hmm.
it to be like a GM, put in GM level times, I guess I should say.
Right. Yeah. Well, and everybody's got that. We all have a real life. We all have shit we got to do. We got bills to
Yeah,
pay. Uh,
yeah,
we got mouths to feed, and nothing in this world's for free. Oh God, I
that's
just
right.
I was just singing his lyrics, but it's okay. But yeah, so I don't fault you there, because I've kind of taken like a burner week. This year it's kind of been like meh, like all the way through the year. As soon as I knew I was going to open, like I had no love for carry optics. Just like, well, I'm shooting this plastic gun until I have an open gun, and it's
Yeah,
just like I have no ambition to try practice or do anything, which has been nice, because my life's been busy at other than that. So it's like, okay, the I'm just not mentally there, so it's nice. I just kind of coast, kind of perform how I feel, but
yeah.
I can definitely understand that, especially with I do the podcast. It's not a business, but it's like a business, so it takes
Uh,
time.
sure, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some of your shooting goals? I know you want to take it seriously and get back onto the grind. What are some of your goals for shooting?
My goal for next year is to make master in limited, and that's kind of, I guess that's really about it. My production, like once I made production master, it was like a big sigh of relief, because it was all I had. All my focus was in that, and it was tough. It was tough for me to make production master. PCC, I felt like it came easier for some reason, but production, and maybe that's just because PCC hadn't been around long enough some I don't know, but yeah, master and limited for sure, and kind of whatever after that, it's going to be ice cream on the cake.
Yeah. Now, do you feel that you are competitive as a master in production currently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So my nemesis is Andreas. I cannot beat that guy for anything. I've thought about slashing his tires, anything to get him not to show up so I could beat him.
I mean,
But
we can make that happen. I mean,
I
Andreas Yankopoulos, man, he
yep,
just tell him he's got to go biking for the weekend. Just tell him he's got to go biking, no
maybe that's
shooting.
what I'll do. I'll get him like an Airbnb somewhere so I can just go down there and at least not
Shoot.
worry about it for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah,
that's
but
good because go ahead.
yeah, because Georgia. I think Georgia I finished second to him. North Carolina, I think I finished fourth. Um, South Carolina, I can't remember about South Carolina, but and like he's the nicest dude. He's genuine. You can go up to him, and I've asked him like, what did you do on this stage? I've done it before I shot and after I shot. Just to make sure that I'm not doing anything stupid, right? And
Right.
like he'll straight up tell you like I did this, this, and this. And there's times where he came in passing to me and I was like, hey, dude, I did this, this, and this. And I walked up to the stage and I was like, damn, that really makes sense. So it's not like he's leading anyone astray. He's going to tell you straight up. So it's up to
Mhm.
you or up to the shooter to beat him. So
Right. So that's good. I mean, it's not like he's taking you on the wrong way. But
yep.
now I lost my train of thought, but it's okay. I'm just gonna keep rambling until it comes back in my brain because we don't have dead air on this show anymore. We try not to at least. But yeah, Andreas. Oh, but he does put in all the work. Like you see him always shooting on the range,
Yes.
shirtless most of the time to make us all feel bad.
Shirtless dry fire. What a guy.
Well, like his dry fire space is cool. Like he can climb on the wall. He can just do all his like yoga and shit and hang from the wall ceiling and
Yeah.
flex
And
it all.
you always got to have the loading machine in the background. That's key.
Well, just to make sure that you show that you still load your own ammo. You don't just have somebody. Like, you just don't buy factory ammo because that's
Yeah,
really
that's right.
that's bougie nowadays. Like you want to pay $40 a box, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but I did come up with my thought that I was thinking about, so it's all good. When you ramble enough, it comes back. But so that's cool. So are you going to be Rob Epifania at the Carolina Classic next
I
year?
would love to. I would love to beat him.
And
Yep.
just steal his dog. Just take his dog from him. Be
I'll
like,
take. He's got three. Well, remember, he's got three dogs now, so we're gonna take all three of them.
whew. Janine will be either
Yep.
very mad or very happy with you. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she'd be pretty mad.
Yeah. As long as you get him back at some point. Be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna keep. We're just gonna run him for a little bit, have our fun, and then ship him back up the road.
Ship him back full of sugar and Mountain Dew, right?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, whatever dog sugar and Mountain Dew would be. I don't know. We have to figure
No,
that out now.
that would not be good.
No, definitely wouldn't be good. But so that's cool. How many matches are you planning on hitting this year? Well, 2023 because season 2022 is over.
Probably five. Like a major for me is just state.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe Maine. I'd like to get back up to Maine and shoot with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I shot in Maine this past summer. My wife and I took a trip up there. Oh, that's right. You were supposed to shoot with us before you bailed out.
I had to bail out.
Bailed out.
I saved a lot of money that way though too. That trip at minimum was gonna be like $6,000 for me to go.
It's yes.
It was expensive, and it was just like I don't know if I can do this, honey. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, because we'd have to. The worst part was renting a car locally and then driving to Maine was cheaper than renting a car, like flying and then renting a car in Maine for the same amount of time.
Really?
Yeah, because like if I wanted to rent a car in Bangor for like 4 days, 5 days, it was like $1,000. But if I did it for like
Oh man.
12 days or something, it was only like it was cheaper than that from home. So I was like, well, I mean, because you had to drive 2 days essentially there and back.
Yep.
2 day trip for me because it was like 16, 17 hours to Maine. I
Yep.
feel bad about bailing, but next time I just need to tell Jason to pick my ass up and take me with him.
You should feel bad for bailing. I was looking forward to that, and I cried every night knowing you weren't going to be there.
Yeah, cried into your wife's arms. He's not
Yes.
coming.
He
Now,
told me he was gonna go.
now, if Matt Hempel didn't go, it'd been very disappointing.
It would have been.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone loves Matt Hempel because he's like the dog whisperer.
It probably would work better for him if he didn't go since he got hurt. But
Yeah,
we don't need to bring that up. You could probably edit that part out.
yeah. Yeah, he's just now he's just hunting. He's a good hunting boy
Yeah.
and making blowing up vehicles. I mean, that's his job, right? Well, I guess we can work, but pretend we're a mechanic.
You can look anything up on YouTube. That's what I do. Just look it up, see how to fix it.
Yeah. Well, we'll just thingamabobber here, tweak it here. Oh no, I didn't
Yep.
do it. Manufacturer defect. Send it back.
That's right. Recall.
Recall exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, that's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm with you too. I don't have. I think I have 4 for sure. I'm going to. I'd love to get to nationals, but depending on which nationals I go to, it all depends. Luckily enough, if I go to the Ohio Nationals, they're like 3.5 hours away from home. But if I want to go shoot open and down in Talladega, I got to drive 12 hours, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to drive 12 hours to Talladega.
Yeah. I would like to go to nationals at some point, but it's not really a desire for me at this point. I have more fun at the state matches. I try to sponsor the matches that I go to. So and that helps out. And it, I don't know, just I feel like it's my way to give back. So I'm maybe someday I'll do some nationals, but it's not in the cards right now for me.
Right, and and you put so, and usually nationals is right around the time you normally have your match anyway, so you're always
Good
busy.
point.
Like you're like building up, you're building up. You're like, I got 2 weeks till my match, and the nationals is like what, a week later this year, and you're
It's a
like,
it's a week earlier because we had the for North Carolina we had to take ours back a week.
yeah. So you were in gung ho mode. You couldn't even think about going to nationals because then you had to
No way.
clean up the range, get back home, get somewhat of a normalcy, or the wife would kill
Yes.
you.
Yes.
But so that's definitely yeah, that makes it hard, especially when you run a match and run a business and
Yeah.
have a family. It's like not all of us are single people who are loaded. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I guess we'll transition back into the business because I mean that's a lot of what a lot of people know you for, and it's really cool. Is you offer a lot of products essentially for people. You pretty much take all the guesswork out, really, so people can have whatever they want essentially.
Yeah.
So, what'd be your most what sells the most, the librarians or the Andersons?
Yeah, that's pretty close. How about the librarians
Hmm.
for sure? Yeah, the people love 147s. I get asked all the time about new shooters, what they should shoot, 124, 147, and like I tried to help. I tried to help them out as best I can, but most of the time I just end up sending them a handful of samples of each, and it's like, here, take these, see what you want. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you liked, what gun you're shooting. Do you have optic? Just so, and that helps me answer questions in the future as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, I just ship them some stuff because some people you'll have the same platforms and people want a 147 over 124, and so I just let them figure that out for themselves.
Which makes sense because people don't people have different preferences too. Some people like that light bullet, some like the heavy bullet, and
Yes.
recoil springs, main springs, everything. So
Yeah, and you're looking at whatever 300 plus dollar investment, and you don't. I don't want them to buy something that they don't want to shoot. Like, damn, I should have bought a 147. And I'm stuck with these for another 900 rounds. So that ain't no fun.
yeah, and for the most part, you could probably offload them onto somebody, but I mean, ammo is ammo. They're going to shoot it regardless. So
That's right.
that's the nice thing. But yeah, so you've got the 115 missiles, the 124, well, 125 Andersons, and then the 147 librarians. And what
Yes.
and you have
And,
plated bullets?
and we
What?
have plated. So I'm almost out of the plated. And I'm going back to 124 full metal jacket. Got a bunch of those in. So yeah, we've got quite and I'm making 9 millimeter open major for NPA as well. David Lyle talked me into that. So I offer it. I was making it, and then I stopped because the vast array of open guns, right? Like
Mhm.
you can't. It was such a headache that I stopped it. And then David Lyle reached out to me. It's like, hey man, I want to work with you on this stuff, and I was like, all right, fine. So I work up some stuff, send it to him, and he helped me dial that load in. So, but I
Mhm.
really only, I don't want to say guarantee, but like I have a bull open gun. I run it through mine to test, and then his MPA, and that's, I think I even have it on the website saying like I only test it through these two guns. So if you buy it for something else, and it doesn't work, it's like sorry, it's
Mhm.
there's just too many guns out there with poppy holes and muzzle brakes and all this stuff that it's not viable for me to keep messing with every gun.
Right, you can't. The return on investment just keeps going down and down and down. So it's just like it might work in your gun. Caution on you.
Yes,
That's why I'm
exactly.
not part of certified match ammo.
Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, it does say Bull SAS and the Masterpiece Arms, which is crazy. The Masterpiece Arms has like 5 popple holes in the dang thing
Mm-hmm.
and a big chunky port out front. So that thing bleeds a lot of
Yep.
gas. So
It does. Yeah, it's close. It's probably the closest to the bowl that I know of with that big break on the end. So
yeah, and I love that you call it 30. You call it 9mm super. It's great.
super. That's he kept. So David kept telling me that. I was like, oh, I want to make sure we're on the same page. You're talking 9 major, right? And he's like, yeah, I just like calling it super. It's like, okay, cool. Let's roll with it.
Right. That is pretty cool. And then you've got your different 40 cal options. And you don't have any 45 because 45 is silly.
No,
Do you
very
even
silly.
find do old people shoot brass at your range?
A little bit. You'll
I,
find 45 aluminum. It's yeah,
ugh, yeah, it's not, yeah.
exactly.
So does anyone at Rowan, is anyone allowed to pick up brass on the range, or is it just
Hmm.
all outdoor dynamics brass?
No, it's funny because I used to have the brass net,
Hmm.
and then at some point I was like, why am I out here picking up brass and collecting my own brass? It's not like you got to a point where it wasn't even worth it anymore, just for
Right.
sheer volume. Yeah,
So I'm assuming you buy all new free, pre-processed brass then for your business then.
yeah.
It's got to be turn on investment, right? We don't have time to do that crap.
No more time. No.
But
Starting
it's
out,
mhm.
yeah, starting out, getting brass, washing it myself made sense, but at this point, luckily at this point, it doesn't make sense anymore.
So do you still have the same concrete mixer?
I do.
Uh,
I do. I have it up in the shed, and it's got all the media, and I got a bunch of the. I was using uh, brass juice soap and all that stuff, so I got all that stuff laying around.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the way to go if you're like a high volume shooter, or even if you're not a high volume shooter, you just get a lot of brass at once. It's just like fucking
Mm-hmm.
throw it on the concrete mixer and let it
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yep.
I can't blame you on that one though. But yeah. So how's the 40 doing in the Travis Tomasi gun?
I ran some total crap through that thing today, and it ate it. There, it
Yeah,
had a couple. I could tell like maybe there's some bulges in it because the slide was a little bit slow to return. But dude, and that I know, I'm not sitting here blowing either. Like it seriously ran some junk today. I was surprised.
yeah. Now, do you have? I'm assuming you have a roll sizer.
I don't.
What? You
No,
don't have a roll sizer? Now,
shh,
do you
don't
think?
tell anyone.
Well, now they know. But do you think it's honestly worth it to have a roll sizer though, or
I,
no?
I don't think it hurts.
Hmm.
Yeah, I used to have one when I was doing my own brass, but now since I'm getting it fully processed, I don't need it anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it was worth it. It was
Yeah.
worth the investment.
Yeah. Makes it probably easy for your 40, and then if you had the roll size, but would your roll size 9mm?
I still did.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably didn't really need to, but I still did.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, I've been looking at it lately because I'm going into open, so I was like, maybe get a roll sizer, roll size my brass, make it a little more consistent, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
And that was the biggest thing is making sure that everything was consistent.
Yeah. That's for sure. Consistency is important, especially with loading ammunition, like your powder drop. Like that's why everyone needs to get a shooting sports innovation alpha dropper. I can't even
Effort
remember.
dropper.
Yeah, the alpha
Yeah,
dropper powder funnel. That's what it is. There we
that's
go.
it. Yeah,
But yeah, so everyone needs one of those and a David Lee Roth approved range towel.
that's right.
But Yeah, so consistent powder drops. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was like, "Hey, I'm loading this with this much grains of powder on this kind of a bullet," and you're like, "What the hell are you doing? That's so much. Like, look, your power factor is way too high.
Yeah.
Crank it down a couple grains." How often do people actually ask you like, "How many grains of powder should I use?"
A fair amount. And
Yeah,
I just give them the generic. I'm not going to tell you what I use, but you can go to the manual. Like the thing about this is nothing's a secret, right?
right.
Like Hodgson, Lyman, all these people put out manuals. So it's, I can't tell you anything that's a secret. I'm using machines that anyone can get, powder. Like there's no secret sauce, no awesome sauce in this stuff.
Well,
So I
besides
just tell
besides
them,
besides your knowledge, I mean, what's up here?
yeah, yeah, that this is true. And
Yeah,
notebooks, got to
yeah,
have to keep a journal, everything you do.
yep. Every powder you've tried and wasted your time with, and
Yep.
and then you're like, I can't get that anymore, so screw it. Next.
And it came to that in 2020, just primers and powder, they just vanished. So you just had to, or I had to use whatever I could.
Yeah. I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, so did everybody else.
Yeah. Are you now that kind of COVID's over, are you back to kind of normalcy? I mean, other than, up prices are up because everything costs more, but like
Hmm.
availability for you is decent now. It's not like you're scavenging anymore, are you?
Man, I wish I could say it was better, but it's not. Eh, Primers are out there, but I'm not gonna. It's not worth it for me to pay what these people want just to keep going. So
Hmm.
I'm not gonna pay. I'm not gonna pay $90+ per thousand on primers because it doesn't make sense for me. But
Right.
it's it's starting to ease up slowly. I thought we would be in a better place than we are right now, but someday we'll get back, I hope.
I hope so too, because I mean, that's what how it's part of your livelihood now, right? You crank
It is.
ammo, and yeah. Without that, it'd be like it would suck for you to have to close your shop because you provide a lot of ammo to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't imagine if I would, I mean, if I was doing this full time, it would have been rough for uh, quite a few months.
Hmm.
So,
That's
but
for sure.
luckily it wasn't. And when I ran out of stuff, I just ran out of stuff and hung out.
Hmm. And people were okay with it. You put it on the
Hmm.
website. Hey, we'll get them back up as soon as we can. I mean, and that's kind of the nice thing is you haven't taken the full plunge yet, so you still have the option to you have the day job to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's always been big, that I don't want to put something on the website or have an expectation that I can't meet. Right. So like if something's on back order, I put a generic 3 to 4 weeks, but most of the time I can get it within a week. I just don't want to portray that I can get you something faster than I actually can.
You'd rather
So
over deliver than
gives
under deliver.
yes, gives me a little bit of grace.
Hmm. Now,
Yep.
when you look at your customer base, how many of them are not competitive shooters?
I think if I had to guess, I bet competitive shooters make up 90 to 95% of our business,
Hmm.
maybe even more. Um, I'm kind of, yeah, I'm kind of all in on USPSA. Even like IDPA, there's not much there. 3 gun, like there's some markets I haven't really tested, like 3 gun. Um, what's the run and gun? I don't think that's the right name, but
Oh, like the Max Leograndis, the PCSL.
it's like it's like the CrossFit with guns. I can't think of what it's
Oh,
called.
tactical games.
Tactical games, yes. So like there's some markets, and same thing, PCSL. There's a lot of markets that I haven't gotten into because there's USPSA is what I'm in, so it's easier for me to market to them right
Hmm.
now.
Right, which makes sense. I
Yep.
mean, it's kind of hard to market to something you're not in. You're not mentally in. It's hard to know
Yes.
to market to them and be like, hey, this product's great for you. I don't shoot your stuff, so I really don't know. I'm just assuming, right? I've read your
Yes.
rule book.
Yeah. So there's I think it's what is it, Sawmill down in South Carolina. They have tactical games, and I've been trying to work into my schedule so I can go down there, set up a booth, and kind of like dip my toes in the water on that, because I feel like, I mean,
Hmm.
they're a competition as well, right? So
Yeah.
there's it's on untapped market for me right now.
Right, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for stopping in the middle of this awesome Mr. Conversation with Mr. John Royer of Outdoor Dynamics. I'm hoping you're getting as much value out of this as I am. So first off, let's stop, and we got to thank the sponsors of the podcast, because without them, we're less cool. Anyway, we got Go Fast Don't Suck, as we say in the beginning of the show, gofastdon'tsuck.net. Dry fire merch, banners, t-shirts, memes, everything. He's got it. You'll see him at a match probably in 2023. We can't forget huntershdgold.com. Go to huntershdgold.com. Go get yourself some awesome iPro and see Brian at a match sometime in 2023, because it's awesome. He makes it a very much an atmospheric party. What he does, how he supports the shooting sports, it's fantastic. So go check him out, huntershdgold.com. We can't forget dominatedefense.com. Go over to dominatedefense.com and you'll get yourself a Mach 1 speed belt combo, because they're the best belt in the business. You can ask me, the Paracast, anyone who uses them, a great belt. They're going to last you 4 to 5 times longer than any double alpha premium belt due to experience. So if you're going through a belt a year, go get yourself a Dominate belt. It's going to last you 4 to 5 years. It's guaranteed. So go over there. Manny Talks 10 for 10% off your Mach 1 speed belt combo. Speaking of discounts, we've got another discount over at divtechshop.com. Nathan Dively, if you listen to the last episode he was on, so go check them out. You can get your awesome 3D printed magnet at a very affordable price, and you can use Manny Talks Shooting for 10% off your order. It might be a little, but it adds up a lot. So, hey, go check them out, divtechshop.com. Don't forget to run over to our friends over at Laugh and Load. My friends Tony and Jackie at the Pew Time Podcast. They're now offering my merch. So they have the Manny Talks Shooting official shirt, Get Out and Do the Things. So go over there and go get that shirt. If you like it, post about it, tag me, use the code hashtag Get Out and Do the Things, because that's really what we do here. We get out and do the things we enjoy, make things better. And yeah, so go support them over at laughandload.com. You can go get that shirt there. Pick out any shirt you want, like the Supreme Division shirt, because you want the open shirt, because only shoot open. Or you can get an AFT agent shirt, another one of my favorite shirts. Remember, run over to timheronshooting.com and go support Tim Heron, because he's the guy who got me on my path. So go ahead and check them out. Tim's traveling and shooting all over the country and teaching more than you can think. He's a traveling instructor full time. So go check him out. timheronshooting.com. Get on a class. Tell him Manny sent you. We've got Range Panda, rangepanda.com. We've got Eric Steiner, Johnny Giordano coming out with awesome 3D printed press accessories. I kind of forgot where they started, honestly, because they have so many cool products. They've got some CNC stuff for your press now. They do laser cutting foam and laser cut etching on tumblers, so you can have pretty much what you want. Pistol stands. If you need a custom pistol stand for that 2011 in your life, and you know you do, go get a Range Panda stand. New stands are coming out soon, so don't be afraid to go get one of those. I can't forget Chili Custom Gunworks. They're supporting and sponsoring the title sponsor of the Michigan Sectional 2023 that I'm the match director of. So go check them out. Don't forget, you need a metal grip on that Staccato or that Springfield Armory Prodigy. You need one, you want it, and get a metal grip, because beat all your tactical friends and get one. Or if you're having an open gun or limited gun built, tell your builder you want Chili Custom Gunworks parts, because they are fine and fantastic. Targets USA manufactures the finest steel targetry on the planet, like we talk about a lot on this episode with Mr. Royer, that we talk about Steve Anderson a bit. So yeah, Targets USA makes the finest steel targetry on the planet. I love it and use it in my practices whenever I go out and practice. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate your support, and you do awesome for the shooting sports and PCSL as well. So go out there, guys, go support them. They're from Alaska. And you don't have to ask your wife, because I'll ask her. Sorry, that's a Steve Anderson joke, but it's bad, but funny. So go check them out. We can't forget, I think, is that everybody? I can't remember. I think that's everybody. If I forgot somebody, I'm going to have to make a list now, guys. But I'm rambling. But anyway, let's get back to this Mr. Awesome conversation with Mr. John Royer of Outdoor Dynamics. Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about your pro team, because they're going to beat me up if I don't talk about them, because I'll get those weird looks, because I know most of them probably listen most of the time. But especially since you're on, they're all like, "Oh, yay, John's on finally!"
Yay.
Yay. So you've assembled a team. What you really started the team in 2022, right?
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Because you've had Maddie and Brian? Well, is it Brian? Mm-hmm. Maddie's dad, right?
Yes, Brian is Matt's dad.
Yes. So you had them, but then you really exploded, it seemed like.
Yes.
So talk about your children that are not your children.
Yeah. So like Christina Baker, she's helped me she was the first person I went to when I wanted to try PCC or make a PCC load.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she helped me get it in touch with David with Da Vinci. So that she kind of I would say she headed that deal up. Like I would send her stuff and like try this in your gun because like same thing. Like I could get a 16-inch barrel all day long, but sometimes the brakes mess with you a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that it sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. It at least ran in a Da Vinci
Mm-hmm.
because I mean they're very popular, if not the most popular rifle anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's probably what works best because then you're able to, they can advertise it on their website and everything, and then be like, hey, the
Yep.
same works in our guns in factory form. As soon
Yes.
as you start dicking
Yeah.
with shit, I can't guarantee crap.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a good point too. Like David with Da Vinci and um, David with David Lyle with MPA. Like they're going to all these places across the states, sponsor nationals, all that stuff that I don't have time for. So I can give them my product to set on their table, and they can help me advertise as well. That's pretty big for us.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that's for sure. And then we got our boy Rob Epifania.
The Fania. Yeah, so I met Rob either last year or 2 years ago down in North Carolina. And he was like, we were ready to leave the range. Like, it's time to get out of here. And I was like, who is down there still walking stages? It's getting dark. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm going to go get his ass out of here. And I was like, hey, man, we're about ready to head out the range. I was like, oh, shit, that's Rob Epifania. Epifania. So, uh, yeah, so that's kind of how that deal works. So, actually, I ended up talking to him while he was walking stages for about another 10, 15 minutes. And yeah, started out a good relationship there too. And he's been key up in the New York area since he's with Long Island and all those guys. So getting product up in the New England states as well has been pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely is for sure, especially when they want good ammo and they want good ammo and they don't want to wait for it. Well, they kind of
Yeah,
wait for it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then he also got me in touch. He's gonna kill me when I say this, but he's the two. Where's it? Staten Island. They got the two clubs that run the Staten Island Championship is what I'm thinking of. The match
Mm-hmm.
director. Damn, he's gonna kill me when I'm forgetting his name, but he hooked me up with him too to help sponsor their match as well.
Yeah, because because it has Lipsa. No, well, yeah, Long Island
It's
practice.
Colonial
Mm-hmm.
and something else. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, they're like a mile down the road from each other, right? They're just
Yes,
yeah.
it looks super badass to shoot, and I'd like to shoot it just for the experience.
Mm-hmm. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if I'd go into New York with guns though. I mean, maybe drive there. I mean, it's kind of like Matt Hempel lit like in Jersey, right? He's like, Jersey, and
Yeah, yeah. Oh, who else are we missing?
got
Gil.
Gil.
Yeah,
Yep.
Gil. So Gil he was with Charlotte Mecklenburg for 25 years, I believe, and started his own deal, Fortitude Consulting. So he was one of my first customers that helped me make sure I was getting everything right for the multiple platforms and getting stuff ready to sell to market. So he's been pretty instrumental in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gil's put out some pretty good content. To be honest with you, he's teaching a bunch of classes, and he's taken what he's learned from competition and other shooters, and he's made his own curriculum, which is awesome.
Yes. Yeah, he's up with Jedi and Nick Young. So and the cool thing is that he's collaborating with other big instructors, right? Like it's not just him trying to figure it out by himself. He's pulling in some or collaborating with other good guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you got the poster child, Maddie.
Maddie, I don't like talking shit to anyone else other than that guy because it's so much fun. Because he takes it right. He's only 18 and yeah, he takes it like a champ.
Yeah. Yeah. And with Wolf with two F's. So
Two F's.
and you know how many people have probably misspelled his last name for his whole life. Be like,
Everybody.
yeah, like what do you mean there's two F's? Yeah, just deal with it. No, but he's a top shooter, honestly. Like it's crazy how good he is at his age. I mean,
Yeah. And he's been shooting since he was 10? No, whatever it is. He's been shooting for a while. So when he gets the mental side of it figured out, he's going to be a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he doesn't look 18. He looks a lot bigger because he's tall. He
is tall.
He's a big boy, but not a big boy. Yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. You got a team, you got which is awesome because then they're able to pimp your brand, promote your brand. They use your product, and it's definitely helpful and gets the word out there and whatnot.
Yeah, we got some. I'm adding to the team a little bit more next year, so we'll just kind of have to stay tuned to see who else is coming. I'm not ready to announce those yet, so we're still working on some stuff, but I got a couple more good names coming in, some good guys too.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. It's always good, and it's always good you're able to expand and help them out too. So
yeah.
So I guess we should ask. I should answer some of these lists. We should get these listener questions answered because, and if unfortunately if we can't talk about it, we'll just say no comment. But Christina wants to know: can you tell me more about the afterburners?
Yeah, we can talk about that one. I always tell her that she needs to quit screwing around and get her ass in gear, right? Like PCC and open is all just hauling ass, right?
Oh yeah.
So I always tell her just turn those afterburners on and get after it. It's not a good story, or maybe I just didn't tell it as a good story.
She'll pick on you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's not your fault. But anyway, okay. So kick some ass, put some afterburners on.
Yeah, get after it.
Yeah. Well, I guess this one's a pretty good question. What reloading dies can you not go without?
Ooh. Damn, that's a good question too. Man, I got a little bit of everything. I think the writing competition seat die. So if you're going to have a machine that you use multiple things for, like if I have one that's for a 125 grain Anderson or using a plated round, a plated projectile, you kind of have it's an easy fix or easy adjustment with that writing competition seat die. So I would say that's probably the best one.
I agree. I love mine. I got mine on. I don't know how I got the hell of a deal I did on mine, but it was freaking fantastic. I was like, yes, please.
Yes. Yep. And even though it's not a die, one thing that you will live and die on is the powder check die. Holy shit, has that thing saved my ass a couple times.
Oh, really? I mean, I don't know. So if you were putting a 650, 750 together, you would rather have a powder check die over a bullet feeder? Or would you put the bullet feeder in station 4 and then combine seat and crimp seat and crimp together?
So I've tried the seat and crimp and I don't recommend it at all. Not as a single die. Not with a coated projectile. With full metal jacket or plated, you can get away with it, but not at least I could never get it to work right. Not a combo die. Yeah. On a 1050 or something, it'd be a little bit tougher, but maybe you just save up some money and go with Mark 7 instead, get that extra station.
Right, might as well. Yeah. But just so you know, I just checked on the Ben Steger Pro Shop. 102 for 9mm Ruger writing competition seating dies. And they're in stock. So people, go get them. While they're in stock. They might not last through Black Friday because this will come out after Black Friday, so you're all screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think those two are key.
Yeah. And when with your auto drives, how much did you have to tweak to get them to really run right? Or they come out of the box, set up, ready to go?
I feel like it takes me a few thousand rounds to really get it going. And that's probably just me being extremely picky. If you're loading for yourself, I mean, within a few hundred rounds, I think you're going to get all the kinks worked out. But for me, I think for every machine that I got, I've run at least 2,000 to 3,000 through it just to make sure that it's how I want it. So,
and you have, I'm assuming you do big batch runs big batches that you can. I mean, you're not going to sit on, you're not going to do 20,000 rounds of UEs and then sit on 18,000 of them, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you could
Yep.
probably do it with missiles or librarians or Anderson. Be like, oh, we'll do 20,000 rounds in a batch, and then before we swap to coated or plated or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. And when you're swapping between those two projectiles, like they're just little changes. But if you put like I have witness marks on everything, so I know when something needs to get put back, it goes right back to that same spot.
Right. Yeah. Which is nice with the Reading competition seating deck. It's fabulous.
Yep. Yep. You make a little cheat sheet and you know you can put it back consistently. I mean, the most consistent thing to do would just be have a dedicated machine, but we're kind of there. I'm probably talking too much about it, but yeah, that's the easiest thing. I have a couple machines that are dedicated for a caliber or for one specific run, and then there's a couple that I have to just make some adjustments on to go back and forth.
Which makes sense, you know. Like I've been talking this whole time, return on investment, right? It doesn't make sense
Yeah,
to have a dedicated machine for a run of product that you do twice a year. Doesn't, you know,
yeah,
or 4 times a year. So it's like a little bit of a hassle, but
yes.
yeah. So somebody did ask. Oh, that's for the questions on my phone. Will there be any plus P loads down the line for 9 millimeter?
I don't plan on it. I don't think that's something that, like I said, I'm all in on USPSA. I don't know that that's really something that we need.
Mm-hmm. And don't run 9 super through your carry gun. Please don't.
Ooh, not good.
Not good.
Not good at all. Yeah, I have a special box that if there's a round on the floor, everything goes into that special box that gets run just through an open gun, just to make sure. Because when I do a 9 super round or 9 super run,
Mm-hmm.
like that's the only thing I do for that day to make sure that they doesn't get cross contaminated with something else.
Which is smart because then that's just like somebody coming up and trying to blow up your business because of one oopsie.
Yes, and that's all it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's good. I mean, well, it's good because you're smart and you know that you got to mitigate risk like that. So
Yeah.
I like it. The box of random crap. Now I knew
Yes.
for so you're when you're talking coated bullets, you're a blue guy through and through
Hmm.
because they're in North Carolina, right?
Yeah. So they're actually only about 45 minutes away from me. So I'm a big fan of theirs. They run the state or they help support the state match. I mean, hell, they're a good sponsor of USPSA in general. So
Mm-hmm.
I've used. I mean, the fact is, I've used a lot of people. I've used Blues, Cam Pro, Arms Core, Brass Monkey. I've talked to Jason many times on the phone. I've ordered a bunch of stuff from him. So I mean, they're all great companies. It's just a matter of who do you want to support. And I think any of those companies, they're involved enough in the shooting sports that you can't go wrong.
And it doesn't beat the fact that you can drive 45 minutes and go pick up your bullets.
It does. Yeah, and the quantity. So I had to get a bigger trailer too because I had this funny, not so funny story. I had this aluminum single axle trailer, and one day it was the biggest load I ever got from them. They put the load on there, and the damn trailer went. And I was like, "Holy shit! I just broke this thing." So I limped it home, and then took it to the shop, fixed it, and like a couple weeks later, I got a nice tandem trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you still have the single axle after you fixed it?
Nope, she gone.
She gone. Never broke. What are you talking about?
I mean, my truck when it's weighted down with projectiles, man, she struggles. But
Yeah.
luckily, I don't have to do it very often. It's like I said, it's only 45 minutes away, so
So you could take the back. Well, is that 45 minutes highway or back roads?
that's highway. Yeah.
Okay. So about an hour, probably maybe 50 minutes to an hour on the back roads if you had to take it slow.
It'd probably be hour and a half. Yeah, because
Oof.
there's not really a good way to get up there without taking interstate or the business interstate. So
Gotcha. That makes sense. Now, what was I gonna say? Darn it. Oh, well. Oh, so do they load it with the fork truck or do they just make a dude with a cart just take it out there?
so we have to load it by hand because their parking lot is not paved, and I always pick muddy days to go up there, and their forklift won't go anywhere. So we load it by hand.
Oof. That's a day at the gym right there.
It is. I luckily they have like a concrete pad that I can pull my trailer all the way back to, and that helps out a lot. But yeah, it's still by hand.
Yeah. So, but you got plenty of hand dollies, right?
Yes. Yep.
Well, that's good. I mean, because yeah, that'd be a struggle.
Yeah.
Just need to get a fancy trailer and a loading dock. If they had a loading dock, you'd be great.
If they had a loading dock, we'd be money.
Yeah,
But maybe someday they'll pave the parking lot. That'll be the end of it.
yeah. Well, yeah, and they've typically what always been the North Carolina section title sponsor.
Yeah. They're like, it's not even a question for them to sponsor it. All we do is we give them the dates, and they're like, "Yep, we're in. We're all in." So, and it was nice to have them on site this year. They're usually on site, and this year they were on site selling primers, projectiles, all that stuff. So it was really they do so much for us that it's hard to give them as much as they give us.
Right. No, and that's true. I mean, it feels interesting because even me starting as this role as a match director of a major match, it's like, how do I get back to the sponsor, right? Like I ask so much from the sponsor as it is, but how do I give a good return on investment? How do I make them feel like they spent their
Yes,
money the right
yes,
way without being like, oh, thanks for putting stuff on the table. We'll put your banners up. We'll make you feel good. Uh, and it's hard to really give back what they give, and it's awesome for people who go like, yep, we'll sponsor, no problem.
yes, yep.
Now, has anyone tried to take so the Rowan, I'm assuming, always has the section match, right?
So it's actually only been since I've started. Yeah. Nathan Carter had it 1 year, so it's been going back and forth. It's been at Sir Walter and Raleigh. It's been at Rowan. Before that, really, I couldn't tell you because I haven't shot them a whole lot up until about 2018 or so is when I was able to shoot them.
But since you've taken over, it hasn't moved, or
Yeah,
you've taken it over and you've been fine.
yeah, yeah, and it's easy because Rowan's only 20 minutes away, and it's my club. I'm a board member there, so whatever I need, I just get and
Deal with it.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's really what the benefit is, right? If you're running a major match, like, oh, well, I need to go to the club today and go do
yes,
XYZ. It's just you roll over there without no
yep,
one questioning you. So it makes it easy.
yep, yep.
Now, in the foreseeable future, do you see the section leaving Rowan and going to another location? Or because like in our bylaws, like any club gets the match 2 years in a row. So the first year you spend a lot of money getting it set up for the next year, and then the second year you make your money. But so does it look like it travels around, or has it been really locked in there?
Man, that's a good question. Uh, let's see. I've done it. So 2023 will be my fourth year. I I don't know, Manny. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere after 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the main reason why I did it was because there wasn't any interest from anyone else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Well,
We're
then
kind of
I go ahead.
we're kind of 1 year at a time anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I, I think it's good for the state, good for the shooters for it to move around.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of someone stepping up to take the reins.
Right, and it almost it seems like you need to know 4 years ahead. Well, so you'd say 2 years ahead of when you're going to have it,
Yeah.
so you can start planning to like, okay, my club. Oh, I need new bays at my club, so I need to ask the board, can I get new bays, or can we move dirt? Well, that's most clubs, at least around here, don't own dirt moving equipment. So you got to go get a quote, multiple quotes to figure out if they can move dirt. Do they have to bring in dirt
Yeah.
or whatnot? Like the one thing I'll say about the Cardinal Shooting Center in Ohio that's hosting nationals in 2023, they own their own dirt movers. So they don't have to pay for that. They just pay for
Oh,
the fuel and they can like, well, we need bays. Let's go build them.
that's nice.
So you don't ever have
Yeah.
to ask anybody. They just like, okay, we'll do it. No problem. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Or you just bring in Jason Wood and he'll do everything for you.
yeah, you just got to have the equipment. You
Yeah.
can't bring an excavator from Alaska. God, that would be so expensive. Just think about it.
Ooh,
Oh,
no thanks.
yeah. Yeah, he'll definitely build you some bays, that's for sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's kind of nice. So you've been and it's nice for the shooters because they know what kind of match to expect out of you from Rowan, from the North Carolina section. It's not a hit or miss. Could this year be good? Could this year be bad because it moved? So
Yeah, and we're pretty spoiled at Rowan because we have a lot of good amenities, right? Like the parking lot. We've got a huge parking lot. The bays are decent size. There's hotels, restaurants, everything within about 10 minutes drive, maybe even sooner than that. So we have a lot of good things going on there. It's just a matter of, I guess it's just a matter up to me on how long I want to do it or how long Stephanie, the section coordinator, wants me to do it. So,
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's really how it is how long until you feel burnt out, or do you need a break, or and then honestly, it might be a time to think about, well, do I need to bring in an assistant match director to then train them how to be a really good match director for the match, so they're not
yeah,
completely SOL when you decide, well, I want to take a year off.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty fortunate because I have a lot of good help and a lot of good people that I can rely on to help me with stuff, and give me good ideas as well. And that's it, like it's not just all on me to for everything. Stephanie handles the admin side, I handle the range side. I
Hmm.
have uh, Brian and Dan, the local match directors up there, that they help me out with everything, and the staff. We got badass staff. We have staff reset. So I mean,
Hmm.
like when it comes time for the competitor to shoot on Saturday and Sunday, they got it covered. They don't need me,
Right.
and
Now,
that's a great feeling.
mhm. Now, off the top of your head, how many staff did you have for 2022?
50, I want to say 52, 53. That was
Okay.
everybody. That was everything.
That that's surprisingly a low. How many stages did you have?
9.
Okay, 9 stages. Okay, so that's about where my math was then, thinking about it, because I was talking to somebody about it, trying to do staff reset, and I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I think you need like 70 because they want to do like a 12 stage match, it seems like, but it'd be definitely difficult.
Yeah. With Have you ever been to Rowan or seen Rowan?
No, but you've what, it's got like an L shaped on your bays, right?
Yeah. So we have six good bays, and then down at the lower three that we have a concrete wall on one side. The middle bay is dirt, and then the right side is concrete bay on the right side. So it's encapsulated by concrete bays. So
Hmm.
on those, we tend to have shorter, like maybe some shorter, more technical stages. So we can kind of get away with 3 staff down there.
Hmm.
But the other bigger ones, you need a minimum of 4. 5 is ideal
Right,
for staff reset.
because I think when I quoted it out to them, it's like you need three ROs, 3 people running the timer, and then you have two resetters essentially. And then,
Yeah.
if they're all certified or what, they don't even have to all be certified, as long as you've got a
Mm-mm.
certified person.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, but yeah, so you can all mix it around and you all swap your jobs. But
Yeah.
and you never have issues getting staff either, and that's a nice thing to have, and that's a good problem to have. Not have is like, yep, staff, they just sign up and take care of
Yep.
it.
Yeah. The staff, like I said, the staff down here is badass because you're going to see the same staff at North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. They know what the I guess what the expectations are, and they
Hmm.
have the knowledge on how to run a staff reset, and that's the biggest thing.
Right. So it's
So
really what we're saying is everyone else not in Area 6 has no idea what they're doing about it. They just need to come down to Area 6, go to one of those state matches or Area 6 and figure it out.
yeah, yeah. So I felt like when I went up to Maine and shot, I felt like such a bag of crap because the first stage they were we only ran a couple of shooters, and I was kind of hanging out in the back, and everyone wanted to go pace, and I was like, oh shit, we're supposed to go pace because I've been so trained on the staff was going to do it right.
Hmm.
And I remember Jason Wood coming back. He's like, "Hey, dude, are we supposed to reset?" And he looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, why wouldn't you reset?" I was like, "Yeah, why wouldn't we?" That's silly.
So you've been spoiled.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was bad. I was embarrassed. I was like, "Damn, that was dumb." But yeah, it'll spoil you.
I mean, I can definitely see that where you get used to it. But hey, I mean, if it works, and you can get reliable staff, and you don't have those issues, right? And
Yeah,
what stages are going to be problems, so you're going to put more staff there to help reset it.
yeah.
Like the long sharp shot. So if like you had the longest shot on a bay, what's your longest shot? 40 yards.
No, I would say I think the shelters are set up 25 yards. So I mean, you're looking at 20 max.
Yeah. Unless you want kitty corner, if like you did a weird kitty corner shot or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
you
yeah,
could. So yeah, if you did that, you're looking at maybe 26, 27 yards or so.
yeah,
But I mean, and also like when we run half day format on Saturdays, so you kind of have to have stages that flow good to get people in and out because we only have 4 hours for people to shoot 9 stages. So you gotta kind of shit get.
right. Well, and you did something interesting this year. You had them zigzag across,
Yes.
so your bay numbers didn't necessarily correspond with your stage numbers.
Yes, and it was very confusing at first. And it was confusing to explain until the guys or the I'm sorry, the competitors started shooting it because, like I said, Rowan's got the elbow at the bottom. So if you shot on stage two, you'd have to shoot 2 through 9 and then get a golf cart ride back up to stage one. So this year we did it so you shoot every other stage and you work your way down the elbow and then back up. So there's no shuttle ride. So we had golf carts that would shuttle you from stage 9 to stage one. So we eliminated that position by going every other stage. So you work your way down and then back up, and you don't have that long transportation time.
So you'd go like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 8, and then it'd be kind of interesting. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
So,
it,
so odds or
it's
evens, really.
yeah. And once you got on site and read the flags, like Nathan had his stage flags
Mm-hmm.
or his bay flags out, it makes total sense. Yeah, so you're just skipping every other, working your way down, and then coming back up. So there's that not that long golf cart ride.
Yeah, no one likes the long golf cart ride, that's for
It,
sure.
so a couple things. So it saved me on budget for having 2 less golf carts. I
Mhm.
needed those 2 extra staff guys because those 2 staff guys, that's all they did was run the golf carts from 9 to 1 all day long. So you got rid of that. The dust for the vendors
Mhm.
is bad, even on a calm day. Like it gets dusty in there, and so we eliminated that. And you have guys that have wagons, that have baby carts, that have just backpacks, and they're always, hanging off the side. The cart's sitting there shaking, and you just waiting for something to fall off. So there were too many benefits not to do it.
Right, exactly. It looked funny on the internet, but it definitely made more sense probably on the ground.
Yes.
But those bodies that are handy, especially when you got to turn and burn in 4 hours.
Yep.
So that means you had 9 stages, 4 hours. That's what, 20 some odd minutes a
Yeah.
turn.
You're looking at 20 to 23 minutes per stage,
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And
and
everybody
that
knew
was
it. Go ahead.
and that was with a 5 minute walkthrough.
Oh shit, you were generous then. Shit, you give a whole extra minute.
Yeah.
Now, what did you this year? So you did some things a little differently. Did you learn anything good, bad, or negative about it doing it that way, or
Yeah. As far as the diamond or just the match in general.
in general?
Yeah, I think every year there's been like a big aha moment, either during the match or afterwards. And this year we had a catered meal for staff at the end of the staff day Friday, so that was pretty big. The only thing I screwed up on that was I didn't. It was like 30 to 45 minutes after they got done shooting before the food showed up, so that kind of sucked for them waiting around. But I mean, overall, like it went really well. There wasn't a whole lot that was in my notebook to make better for next year, other than just make sure the food for staff was there a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But it's always good to not everything's perfect. You can't. I mean, we all love to be perfect, but we always can improve on something, right? Either
Yeah.
logistically or functionality or whatnot. Now, when you for the match, do you have one stage designer or did you get multiple stage designers to input stages?
So this year every year we have these match directors across the state
Mhm.
submit stages.
Okay, so you're not
So
getting
you
one
kind of
guy's flavor.
correct. Yep. Yeah. So I think we had seven or eight uh, match directors submit stages. and I look at them, and then ship them off to Brian and Dan to kind of get their pick on them too. So
Hmm.
I feel like I like doing that. I think it's good for the clubs. Gives them their club personality in that stage, and like the local shooters know, like, oh, this is a Sir Walter stage, or this is an Asheville stage. They kind of understand the flavor for that stage.
Yeah. That is nice. And that's kind of like back in the day, that's how the Michigan sectional was. Like you'd have people volunteer, like you do a 10-stage match or how many, whatever. You'd have like, okay, we're gonna have one guy bring in a stage and you guys are gonna work that stage from that club. But
Yep.
now it just seems a lot more of, everyone just kind of pitches in instead of, okay, this is what we got. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great way to do it as well, right? Like you have 5 or 6 guys from your club, they work that stage, and that's great too. We're
mhm.
kind of getting to the point where, like, I had a guy from Phoenix come out this year to work the match. Like,
Mhm.
like we're kind of getting a little bit of everybody. So it's pretty cool to see that.
Mm-hmm. No, it definitely is. Yeah. Or you get people from like this year, well, 2022, one of my best friends from Texas came and we shot the Michigan sectional together. I didn't work the match. Although I got all the shit from my club buddies. It's like, why didn't you work the match? I'm like, I had a friend come from Texas to shoot with me. But this year in
Yeah.
2023, he's coming back and he's going to just shoot the match and I'm the match director. So
Yeah. But
unfortunately I
yeah, I
can't
mean,
shoot with him. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, how cool is that? Like, it's a humbling feeling. Like, Zach Grenier came out from Maine, and you got Christina coming from Miami, and there's some guys from Utah there this year. It was like that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely cool, and it's cool to feel, and it's like, sweet. Look, I just didn't get local shooters. I didn't get 5 hour away shooters. I got
Hmm.
12 hour away shooters.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
The Tennessee match was the same weekend as ours too. So there was a lot of people who shot Tennessee on Saturday and then came to us on Sunday.
Yep. I do remember that my friend Robert Wyatt and John Batista, they came and did Tennessee and then went to the Carolina Classic.
Yeah, so they're the ones that I was thinking of,
Hmm.
right? Because they're Utah based or something, Nevada, somewhere out there.
Well, no, Robert's from Utah and John's from California, but they'll
Okay.
fly together, and yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
either way, like, that's badass just for them to come that far for some state matches.
Oh, it is. Well, and they love the idea of trying to do a double hitter. They're like, oh,
Hmm.
we'll go shoot staff day on one match, and then we'll go shoot, competitor day on another.
Sure.
Especially when they're that was pretty close though, Tennessee to
Yep.
North Carolina.
Yep.
I mean, when you get in those Appalachian mountains, you never know what you're gonna run into.
That's right. Go pick you up some moonshine on the way through.
I mean, that's not a bad idea though. I mean, that's always or you just go to a distillery and be like, well, we're gonna stop and go whiskey drinking on the way
Yeah.
there. Yeah. But I guess I have a couple more questions before we wrap it up because this has been a freaking awesome conversation. But where would you like to see outdoor dynamics in like the next 5 years?
Ooh, man, you're really throwing some questions down on me. You said this wasn't going to be hard.
I mean, it's not hard for me. You, on the other hand, I don't know.
Yeah. Man, I'm pretty happy with where it's at. Um, I don't know. I mean, if I was to go full time, that would be cool. But I don't know that we'll be to that point then with availability of stuff, maybe. But right now, I'm just kind of letting it go organically. If it grows, cool. If it doesn't, then it's just kind of wherever it goes from there. I don't really have a goal because it just kind of, like, it just feeds my own habit. It feeds USPSA in the way that I can sponsor matches and stuff like that. So just kind of wherever it goes, it goes.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the cool thing too. It's how I feel about this, right? It's like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I don't get hurt because it's a hobby
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a cool see it grow and develop and bloom.
Yeah. And like I said, I may not have time to be a GM like in my heart I want to be, but I know
Hmm.
in my mind that it's probably better for me to support other people who have the time, have that drive to make it there. So
Hmm.
that's kind of where I am, that I want to help support other people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And And we need those people too, right? You know, we need the supporters, we need the sponsors, we need the people getting their brand out there, getting it repped, and promoting the sport. Because without promoting the shooting sports or the Second Amendment in that way, like it just goes away. Because everyone either stops caring or it seems like, oh, we have it too easy, so then we lose all our rights.
Yep, agree.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you in not trying to go full time, or or maybe it does. Maybe you're like your day job dissolves, and you're like, well, I'm going to do outdoor dynamics full time. I'm going to put 100% into it, and and then you're be a filthy rich MFer. So
That's right.
You'd be like Steve Anderson, just doing a podcast with your with your dog in the background making noise, and be like, well, this is what I do to get paid today.
Yeah. Well, if you see my Instagram posts, he doesn't really do a whole lot in the background except for sleep.
I mean, sometimes that's what you need, though. You need a sleepy dog.
Yeah. And if you come over, he'll be more than happy to pee on your shoes. He's 8 years old and still pees on you. So,
well, I mean, he's got to show who's dominant and whose turf it is, right? He's like,
that's true.
That's my couch. You can sit on it, but that's my sleeping spot. If you're in my spot, we got problems.
Yep.
Yeah. You traditionally don't have sponsors, but you have partners that you partnered up with. So we gotta give them some love too. So you want to go ahead and shout them out?
Sure. Like we talked about, Blue Bullets they've helped me out a ton. Masterpiece Arms, Da Vinci, Fortitude Consulting, Nathan Carter with Shooting Sports Innovation. So he's a one-man band like me, makes some cool products, and he's always sending me stuff to test. Here, John, take this and break it for me, or tell me what needs to be done to make it better. So that's always cool having something like that. And he's only 15, 20 minutes down the road. We travel to matches together, and we just talk shop all day long, and how, like that diverging diamond that we were talking about, the little skip to my Lou thing, that was all his idea. And when he told me about that, I was like, that sounds stupid. And then I got to write it. I had to get a pen and paper and write it down. I was like, damn, dude, this is genius.
That is pretty cool. Isn't he? He's a NASCAR guy, isn't he? A NASCAR engineer or something?
Yes. Yep.
So he's always making a left turn, though.
Always. Sometimes you got to turn a little bit to the right.
Yeah, I gotta bring it back now, y'all.
Yeah, send it back up.
Yep, exactly. So that's cool. Yep, but yeah. So Blue Bullets, MPA, Da Vinci, Fortitude Consulting, Shooting Sports Innovations. It's a lot to type, and you're gonna spell it wrong, and it's gonna be okay, but it'll be good. Yeah, and then where can they find you on the internet?
Outdoor.dynamics.net is our website. I should know my Instagram handle. I think it's outdoor.dynamics.
I don't know. Let me look. I'll make you feel
I think
bad,
that's
I guess.
what it is.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But why didn't you get outdoor.dynamics.com?
I think it was taken.
What? Them dicks.
Yeah.
But
so technology, I'm not good with technology, Manny. So building the website, all this stuff, I was like, that's the part I hate, right? I just want to be able to make ammo and run the machines and this stuff. And then the other half is website help. So I rely a lot on Christina. She bails me out a lot on, I just put an ad in the USPSA magazine. So that was pretty big for me. She sent me some pictures and stuff. And then my sister-in-law did the graphic for me. And so I rely a lot on other people to help me with the tech side.
I mean, people got their expertise and specialties, right? You go to a mechanic to work on your car,
Yeah.
So not everyone's got to be a do-it-all. It'd be nice if everyone was a do-it-all themselves, but it's not how this world works anymore. Everyone's got their niche.
Yeah, So my wife does. She likes Facebook. So if you send a message or something, it goes to her, and then she tells me. So if you want to reach out to me, John at outdoor.dynamics.net is email, or just hit me up on Instagram. That's kind of where I live.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's where you live, because that's all we do on the Instagram is scroll, look at dogs, and talk about shooting. I mean, that's how it goes.
That's right.
That's right. That's awesome. So yeah, guys, go check out John at Outdoor Dynamics. Go buy some ammo. Tell him, put him in the notes. I don't get anything. Tell him Manny sent you, though, because you listen to him on the podcast. So there's always a good thing. But yeah, John, thank you for coming on, dude. This has been a blast. And listeners, till next time, get out and do the things, and I will see you on the next one.